In the modern world, many believe they wield their intelligence as a shield, believing their intellect provides them with autonomy. The world you see around you is an intricate web of incentives, metrics, and narratives designed to keep your mind manageable, predictable, and compliant. It wants your intelligence, but it despises your autonomy. It will reward you with comfort, status, and security on one single condition: that you hand over the keys to your cognitive sovereignty. The choice before you is absolute, and it cannot be avoided. You can remain a highly functional variable in a grand machine, enjoying the comfortable domestication of the intelligent conformist, while watching your authentic self slowly erode into oblivion. Or you can embrace the terrifying, exhilarating reality of true mental independence, enduring the social friction, mastering the internal fear, and using your cognitive power to forge an uncompromised life. The system has spent your entire life rewiring your mind for compliance. The question is, do you possess the courage to rewire it for yourself? Choose wisely. The architecture of your entire future depends on it. However, the uncomfortable truth is that humanity has become entangled in a web of cognitive manipulation, where intelligence is exploited to ensure compliance. The most pervasive forms of control do not rely on cages or physical force. Instead, they cleverly use our own cognitive architecture against us. The qualities that lead to success in contemporary society, strategic thinking, logical reasoning, and compliance, may, in fact, be the traits that render us domesticated. Each day, brilliant minds wake to orchestrate complex solutions for entities they do not own, pursuing goals they never chose, leaving them with a sense of internal emptiness. This structural design is not a failure of individual will but rather an indictment of a system predicated on obedience. To comprehend the disconnect between intelligence and autonomy, we must delve into our evolutionary history. For the majority of human existence, social isolation equated to death. When ancestors were cast away from their tribes, their genetic lineage ended swiftly. Our brains did not evolve to seek absolute truth. Rather, they developed to optimize social survival. This entailed subordinating individual perception to collective consensus, where the risk of being wrong alongside the tribe was minimal, but being right in isolation was deadly. Natural selection favored individuals who keenly monitored their standing within the group, leading to a brain designed to reward compliance. When one aligns with group expectations, they experience a sense of safety, but deviation triggers a threat response identical to physical peril. As our tribal structures have been replaced by vast institutional systems and corporate hierarchies, this ancient survival instinct pressures individuals to conform within these impersonal frameworks. The very intellect that once helped humanity thrive becomes a prison, enabling rationalization of one's lack of autonomy instead of prompting rejection of systemic submission. Similarly, just as domesticated animals undergo physiological changes, humanity, too, has experienced self-domestication through a modern educational and corporate infrastructure that filters intellects for compliance. From early education, individuals are not assessed on their original thoughts but on their ability to strictly adhere to the frameworks imposed by others. Such conditioning rewires the brain, forging a connection between obedience and reward. By the time a highly intelligent individual joins the workforce, they are expert practitioners of compliance, feared of stepping outside the established frameworks. Those who excel are the conformists, praised for mastering arbitrary rules and achieving validation through grades and scores. The absence of structural guidance incites existential dread, compelling individuals to prefer comfortable subordination over the uncertainty of true independence. Digging deeper into this conditioning, we uncover the neural circuitry behind conformity. The brain has a sensitive network known as the default mode network, instrumental in social cognition and self-reflection. Social exclusion activates specific brain regions that are also stimulated by physical pain. Thus, ideological isolation feels akin to a physical injury, prompting profound threat responses. Cognitive dissonance arises among those who discern systemic flaws yet are beholden to compliance. When forced to align with flawed systems, individuals may unconsciously modify their beliefs to avoid the turmoil that nonconformity generates. This illusion of choice saturates the modern landscape. Individuals are presented with an array of options, yet they inadvertently reinforce the existing machinery of compliance. Highly intelligent minds construct complex justifications for their choices, masking their underlying fear of nonconformity behind elaborate facades. As a result, identities become dangerously entwined with external markers of success, leaving individuals in psychological crises when stripped of their titles or roles. Many high achievers face profound identity vacuums when confronted with setbacks or changes, discovering reliance on external validation that has eroded their internal core. In daily scenarios, intelligent professionals often suppress their critiques in favor of conformity, fearing social repercussions over maintaining integrity. This cycle perpetuates systemic incompetence, showcasing how intelligence can be wielded to uphold flawed structures. To escape this compliance architecture requires more than motivation. It demands a reprogramming of psychological conditioning. Ideological decoupling is essential, disentangling personal identity from institutional affiliations. This shift allows individuals to view their environments objectively, attending meetings as observers rather than participants invested in conformity. Increasing tolerance for social pain is also crucial. Individuals must withstand discomfort when standing alone, reassuring their evolutionary brains that nonconformity does not lead to death. This deliberate dissensus builds resilience, breaking the biological chains of groupthink. The reality is stark and undeniable. Society is designed to ensure compliance while presenting the illusion of choice. The choice is yours: remain a functional variable in a grand machine, or embrace the exhilarating uncertainty of true independence. The system has spent your life rewiring your mind for compliance. Now, the question is whether you have the courage to rewire it for yourself. The architecture of your future hangs in the balance, and it's a choice that must be embraced with resolve. To break free from the architecture of compliance requires something far deeper than mere motivation, or generic self-help platitudes, or reckless rebellion. It requires a systematic, clinical dismantling of your psychological conditioning. It demands that you reconfigure your relationship with your own intellect, your fear responses, and your environment. The first step in this framework is the ruthless execution of ideological decoupling. You must consciously locate and separate your sense of identity from every institutional framework you inhabit. You must stop viewing your job title, your credentials, or your social standing as metrics of your personal worth. They are simply transactional realities. They are chips you use to play a game, but they are not you. The professional's analytical mind immediately deconstructs the plan, identifies the structural errors, and formulates a devastatingly accurate critique. Their intellect knows the truth, but watch what happens next. Before a single word leaves their mouth, an incredibly fast, automated system of psychological cost-benefit analysis runs within their subconscious. The brain calculates the social cost of speaking up. It evaluates the ego of the executive, the political alliances in the room, and the potential risk to the professional's upcoming performance review. In a fraction of a second, the ancient survival mechanism overrides the analytical mind. When your intelligence is completely harnessed by external systems, your sense of identity becomes dangerously fragile. It is anchored not to who you are, but to what you represent within the hierarchy. You are your job title, your salary tier, your academic credentials, your institutional affiliations. If these external markers are removed, the individual faces a profound existential vacuum. This explains why so many high-achieving individuals experience devastating psychological crises when they face professional setbacks, retirement, or displacement. Without the external framework to tell them who they are, they discover they have no internal core. They have spent their entire lives perfecting the art of reacting to external stimuli, solving external puzzles, and meeting external expectations. They have never undertaken the difficult, dangerous work of constructing an autonomous self. They are brilliant mirrors, reflecting the light of the systems around them, but they possess no light of their own. This is the ultimate cost of compliance.